let's get back to our basketball chat, Alex, because Marcus Morris is back. I feel like we haven't talked enough about him yet because he's been good. He has been very, very good for this team. Looking at his stat sheet so far, 47% from the field. That's a career best from him. Only 81 attempts, but you're getting up to that 100 where you're really starting to see a bigger sample size there. 40% from three, also a career high. And when I first saw him take the court for this team this regular season, I was like, alright, this guy's wild. He's just throwing up shots all over the place, whether guys are right on him, whether there's heavy pressure inside, he's just letting it fly. Outside, knew coming in he wasn't going to shy away from taking threes, but he's hitting them. So, I mean, is there much to complain about with Morris's approach? What's your impression of him so far? Because I feel like he's only helped the team with his shooting.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the year, I wasn't sure what to expect because we were coming in expecting Hayward. So the way I saw it was that maybe he would be the guy that was the scorer in the second unit and maybe at times take minutes away from a guy like Jayson Tatum or Jaylen Brown. So I was very skeptical of what to expect. But with the injury of Hayward, it's kind of turned into us needing him and needing that production and needing a guy who's going to hunt out his own offense and score. So, I mean, right now he's shooting 40% from three. He's taking maybe a little bit too many long twos, but at this stage, like, we kind of need any offense we can get right now. And I think his scoring punch has been very much needed for this offense.
Yeah, I like that point about the long twos. It's almost the opposite of what we expected from Jayson Tatum because he was taking those shots in college, and now he's been the one moving out to that three-point range. And they've pretty much switched roles in that sense. What do you feel about his defense? I mean, he's a 97 defensive rating to start this year, so he's been right in play with that dominant team defense as a whole. He had a really nice play. One of my favorite plays of the year, that chase down block on Green down the stretch of that Warriors game. Big basket. They were down 13, saved an easy two or maybe an and one right there if you fouled them. So that was a big play in the stretch of that game that got them back over there. And there's a lot of different impressions of his defense. Some people think it comes and goes. Some people think he's an underrated defender. Some people just think he's good. What do you see him as when it comes to defense on this team in particular?
Oh, for us, I think he's been great. He's been switchy. He's been versatile. He's picked up the rotations very quickly. He works very well with Al Horford. So, I mean, to me, I don't have much complaints. He's had a couple of really good possessions where he's, like, defended guards like Kemba Walker at times. Like you said, he's had that one great chase-down block on Draymond Green. Yeah, he's been about as well as you could expect from him. So, I personally don't have any complaints. I think for what he's being asked to do, which is defend, hit spot-up shots with the starters, try to find their own offense in the second unit, I think he's done that about as good as we can expect from Marcus Morris.
Yeah, and it's still looking back at that Bradley trade, and we're going to see Avery Bradley a week from the day this podcast drops, which is going to be fun at the Garden. Detroit's been fantastic this year, so it's really been working out for both teams. But they couldn't have done better in that deal. We were wondering just how much value they'd be able to salvage for Bradley. And looking at the success of the team this year, Terry Rozier's been fantastic. You saved $4 million just about by getting Morris's contract, which is 2 years, $5 million a year. So you pretty much added Morris and retained Rozier by dumping Bradley, which they were going to have to do anyway. So that couldn't have worked out better for them. Who do you think's more important rotation-wise right now to soaring up rotations? Because both Morris and Tatum have been fantastic, and now they're becoming more interchangeable in these lineups, I feel like. If you're really hammering it down to the best 5 players on the team at the end of the day, is it Tatum or is it Morris when it comes to those final 5 to end games, you think? Because Smart's going to be out there as terrible as he's shooting right now.
Yeah, it does seem like no matter what Smart shoots, no matter how many shots he misses, how many bad shots he takes, he's always going to be a net positive on the court. And Brad Stevens trusts him, so like you said, I definitely expect him to be there. Also, I expect him to be joined by Irving and Horford, obviously, and I think so far what we've seen is Brown is going to be someone that's going to close games as well. Yeah. So if we're looking between Tatum and Morris, I think right now if you're looking for the long-term approach, you do want to go Tatum, because chances are Tatum is going to be a member of the Celtics for at least 7 years. Marcus Morris might not last this summer as good as he's been, obviously. Because, I mean, when Hayward comes back, when Hayward comes back, those minutes that he has, probably Shemmy's, are all going to go away. So, I mean, if we're looking at trying to build this team for the long-term future, you want Tatum to be the one out there closing games. But, I mean, this is also Coach Stevens. He does not look at lineups the way we do in terms of long-term approaches. He's looking at what's going to help my team win right now. So I do think also at this stage of the game, we might just see whoever has a hot hand, whoever is playing good in that game might be the one that closes it. So long-term, Tatum, but as of right now, it's probably a toss-up depending on how the guys are progressing throughout the game.